Hey guys, how's it going? Cartoon Carl here, back again with another how-to VR video. So, the Metagaming Showcase 2023 has come and gone. Two whole years have passed since GTA San Andreas was announced by the Zuck himself. And we haven't heard as much as a peep since. So, you gotta wonder, after 2 years of radio silence, is this game even gonna happen? When you consider that another game announced at the same time, Splinter Cell, was cancelled. You gotta wonder. With all that being said, it is entirely possible to play GTA San Andreas in VR right now, and has been for some time. Now, there isn't just one way to do it. There are in fact 3 tried and tested methods of getting this absolute classic game into VR. 2 of which are playable in first person, and 1, believe it or not, you can play natively on your MetaQuest 2. Alright, so let's jump into it. Okay, so none of these methods are what I would call plug and play. There are some tweakings, some little things you need to do in order to get it up and running yourselves. So let's go ahead with the first method. Now, if you watched our video before on GTA 4 and Saints Row the Third, you will know that we've used mods by Azolica. Now, Daigo has sung his praises. This guy does not get enough recognition. And yes, we're back again with another one of his trainers. This time, San Andreas. Now, no, this trainer does not have a native VR mode. But this trainer, coupled with the PC version of the original release and Vorpex, will get you an honest-to-God first-person GTA experience. Now, whoa, you already hear the naysayers about to click off in the video. Vorpex absolutely shines with older games, especially games of this era. You will be hard-pressed to play a game of this era in Vorpex and not take its native VR, I swear to God. Some of the best implementations are with Vorpex and these older games. San Andreas is no exception. Okay. So first thing you gotta do, the Vorpex profile was obviously created with a third-person game in mind. So, what I would recommend is to download our custom profile, which has been tweaked for the first-person mode. Just search up our username, DU1G0, and you'll find it. Now, I haven't mentioned this in my previous videos, but you will need the Vorpex beta, not the regular Vorpex. And again, there'll be a link in the description to where you can download that. The reason being, Rockstar and their parent company Take Motherfucking Two have attacked modders relentlessly. So, Vorpex also had to remove their Rockstar-based and Take-Two-based profiles. Now, they've since been reintegrated into the beta version, but they're not in the mainline version, so I believe this is how Rolf, the creator, is kind of getting around that. Will they be returned in the regular version? I don't know. Hopefully. But for now, this is what you gotta do if you want to play it. Alright, so you got your profile, everything's ready to go. Go to the link in the description. Download Zolica's mod. Alright, we are using this PC DVD version of the game, so we didn't need to do any downgrading, but if you're on Steam or Epic, you will need the downgrader. I have put it in the link in the description, but I have not needed to use it. I've never had to use it, but apparently it's very straightforward. Just follow the instructions. Alright. It should be noted that mods only work with version 1.0 of the game, nothing above. So, you need to downgrade to 1.0. Incidentally, our PC DVD version is 1.0, so yeah. Okay. Once you've downloaded the Zollikit mod, copy the contents and paste it into the folder. And that's it. You're ready. Alright, boot up your game. Press F7. That'll open up the menu. Scroll down until you see Options. Alright, press numpad 5. Scroll down until you see Camera Options. Press F5. Alright, and in there you should see First Person Camera. Press 5. Alright, now you're in first person. What I would recommend is changing the FOV to 110. The reason being, anything above 110 will cause graphical issues. Now, I should also mention this optional toggle here. You can choose to have the camera rotation following the mouse, or you can choose to leave it unchecked. So what this does is it creates either a decoupled mode, where you can look around freely from the direction you're moving, or basically a head track mode, where you turn based on where you're looking. Completely down to you. That's the preference. Myself, Daigo, and even Ed, we prefer the decoupled option of leaving it unchecked. However, your mileage may vary, your taste may vary, so we'll leave that completely up to you. Yeah, that's it. That is the first method of getting GTA San Andreas original version for PC up in VR, PC VR. Alright, moving on. So, the Zook did mention GTA San Andreas on your Quest 2. Or maybe he meant Quest Pro or Quest 3. By the time this thing releases, it'll probably be Quest 6. But the idea was that this was a standalone title for standalone VR. Alright. With that in mind, there was a Unity project called San Andreas Unity, which was forked in the year 2020 to San Andreas VR. Now, incidentally, the creator of that did reach out to me to ask me, was that the subject of this video? And yeah, it was. I was surprised to find out that this guy is actually the same dev behind the Cactus Cowboy series. So, pleasantly surprised. So I had asked him because the timing was kind of strange. His version went up in 2020. The Zook mentioned GTA San Andreas coming to Quest in 2021, so I wondered, okay, was your project abandoned because there was an official version coming? What was going on? And he said no, basically, this version, San Andreas Unity, is not the full game. It's basically a sandbox, alright? You got the world, you got the assets, animation, AI, all of that stuff, but no missions are implemented, no storyline, none of that. It's just basically, if you were to play San Andreas in a sandbox mode, that's what this is. And multiplayer also. So he was just kind of dicking around with it, seeing what he could do, seeing if the game could be viable in VR. And he was just using it to learn, basically, to mess around with. It's purely coincidence then that Zuckerberg announces San Andreas officially coming to Quest, and the whole thing just stopped. It was all coincidence. But suffice it to say, if you want to play this on your Quest, you absolutely can. Just bear in mind, this is not the full game. This is essentially an abandoned fork. The intention was never to port the game in its entirety to Unity. That was never the goal. So, once you know that from the outset, you're good to go. This is basically San Andreas sandbox mode you can have fun in VR. So, okay, what do? Well, you go to the link in the description. There you'll see the GitHub. Go ahead and download the APK file. Alright. Open up SideQuest. Connect your Quest to the computer. Alright. Sideload that bad boy by dragging it in. Alright. Next step. Open up your Quest on your PC. search SD card / San Andreas folder. Alright, you need to place your PC files in here in order for the game to work. So go ahead, copy and paste them over. Okay. Once you've done all that, disconnect your Quest from the PC, load up the game, and you'll see that you are indeed inside San Andreas, full 60 FVR, and you're in that world. You are there. Alright. The controls are very, very rudimentary. You can access like a dev console to spawn cars, this kind of thing. But yeah, it is very, very bare bones. It is just basically a testing ground, basically a sandbox. That's all this is. However, you can have some fun with it. You can play it natively on your Quest. It's as close as we're going to get to Zuckerberg's vision, if or when that does actually release. Who knows at this point. Alright, moving on to the next step. Okay. So this could arguably be the greatest way to experience the game. And sadly, the mod in question is not released just yet. Okay, what am I getting at? San Andreas Definitive Edition. Alright? The GTA Trilogy Definitive Edition, which includes GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, were remade. Okay, now there is some controversy over it. There's a lot of people who say the original versions are better, you know, they watered it down, it's not the same game, it's worse, and who knows. I did try it at launch myself and found it lacking, but I couldn't quite put my finger on what was wrong. Now that was at launch, things could be different now, who knows. But suffice it to say, from a technicality point of view, this way would be the greatest way to experience San Andreas in VR. Alright, so you got the original game. You got it up-resed, upscaled, it's on a modern engine. Now what's cool about that is Praydog's Unreal Injector mod, or whatever it's going to finally be called, will hook up into Unreal-based games. It will give you control over the camera. It will give you control over 3 dock motion controls. And yeah, that will complete the experience. Now, why do I say complete the experience? Well, that's because the first person mode is not complete, okay? Alright, let me explain. So there is a line of code called VR mode, alright? Link in the description to the Nexus site. If you go on the Nexus site, that'll explain how to activate this first person mod, which is known as VR mode, but it's essentially a first person camera. Now, what this console command does once input, it gives you, as the title suggests, a first person view mode, which also works with GTA 3 and GTA Vice City. Essentially, with Praydog's mod, this allows the entire trilogy to be played in VR. Now, could you use Vorpex? Absolutely you could. With an Unreal profile, absolutely, and it'll work. However, here is the difference. The mode is not a complete first-person mode. For instance, if you use certain weapons, alright, the camera will zoom back out to a third-person perspective. Same goes for certain vehicles, and when you enter certain buildings, the camera will zoom out to third person. Alright, you also lack the ability to look up and down in certain areas. So, that's strike one against Vorpex. Nothing that can be done. Not so with Praydog's mod. For one very simple reason. The camera you're using is not the in-game camera. Alright? So you have essentially a free camera. You can look up and down, you can look in all directions. You're not relying on mouse lock. Mouse look would be reserved for the treated off controls. Now, as I mentioned before, using certain weapons, certain vehicles, and entering certain buildings will take you into a third-person perspective. Not so, in theory, with the Prey Dog mod. You can create custom camera profiles, so you can create custom first-person modes for when you're kicked out back into third person. You can have a toggle here, which will always keep you in first person, in theory. And the really cool thing is it'll work across the entire trilogy in VR. So once his mod drops, you can bet your bottom dollar that this is the definitive way, pun very much intended, to experience GTA San Andreas Definitive Edition in VR. So, there you have it. 3 methods that you can use right now, well, with the exception of the Prey Dog mod, to get GTA San Andreas into VR. Thanks Zuck, but no thanks Zuck. We'll keep waiting for your version, but until then, we have these. Alright. So yeah, okay. Guess we'll drop the whole thing here. I don't know what Daigo says, but frickin' comments and likes and stuff and subscriptions and I don't know, Patreon, whatever the hell. Just I'm sure he'll put something up. Yeah, do that, liking and commenting and all that. All right, yeah. See y'all in game.